Hello and welcome to Cretaceous Cantina, where today we're having a look at another Mattel Jurassic World product. This one is the Jurassic World Lava Surge playset. I don't know if this is an exclusive in the US. I got it through Walmart.com. It was only something like $25, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion, and I haven't even opened it yet. But if you're looking for this, I will put a link down in the description. It has been out for a little bit in South America and Central America, it seems. But we're just now getting it in the US through Walmart. I don't think it's hit Walmart stores, and I'm not sure that it will. But in any case, I'm really happy to get this because I've been really excited to have some sort of a playset from the Mattel Jurassic World line. That's like the one thing that we're not really getting a whole lot of is actual true playsets. And even though this may be a little bit limited in scope, it is kind of more of a playset than what we've gotten before. So let's just jump right into the packaging. It looks gorgeous. Baryonyx itself looks quite great. It's a little bit different from the regular Baryonyx, and we will compare them. But it shows you everything that you get. It says that it is unassembled. It shows you what it includes, even though it shows O in there rather than Claire for some reason. It says the figure is not included. Slime! Here at the box, you can see everything that is included in the set once again. Tells you how to insert that slime. Shows you the scenery that's in here. Looks like everything's melting. Breakaway wall, so it looks like it should have at least a few features, so that'll be interesting to check out. And down at the bottom, you get the two slime sets. I do have those. I haven't had a chance to review them yet. And it says that this is Jurassic Facts app compatible. Here is the UPC on bottom, because I know some of you are going to want that. And yeah, all right. I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit of time, get this unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Baryonyx and Lava Surge playset.
Push, push.
And unassembled indeed. You can see that what we have here is a bunch of parts. But luckily we have our trusty instructions, because we all know that instructions are the key to the world's problems. Read the instructions, folks. And it tells us that you get all this stuff here and that you can put it together like such. There's the assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a couple of minutes, get that together, and we'll take a closer look at the fully assembled set. Slime! All right, and here is the fully assembled playset. It doesn't take very long to put together, about 5 minutes or so. Everything just kind of snaps in place. Pretty straightforward going by the instructions. It's sizable, as you can see. The Roarvor scale Baryonyx is about half the height of the playset, so pretty good size. Speaking of Baryonyx, let's go ahead and check that out first. So we essentially have here the very same sculpt that was released previously for the Roarvor's Baryonyx. It's a little bit different in terms of colors, and it is actually retooled. It's very chocolatey looking, very chocolatey. And here along the back, you do have this pattern which abruptly ends right here. Even though you have these sculpted bumps, they should have carried it at least to the tail piece where it snaps in. But they didn't, and the tail piece itself, you can see, is a little bit darker in color than the rest of the dinosaur, which is interesting. But aesthetically, it looks pretty much as good as the original Baryonyx did, which was a very nicely sculpted figure. A little bit on the skinny side compared to what we see in the actual film, but still pretty nice nonetheless. Here at the top, you can see like where he has the lava burn. If you've seen the film, then you know that the Baryonyx got a splash of lava in the head, which should have totally incapacitated it, if not killed it. But that didn't happen in the film, so that's what this is meant to represent here. They should have maybe given it more of a metallic look, or more of a glow sort of look to it, so that it was a little bit more vivid, because I mean it just kind of looks like an orange stripe or an orange mark. The paint on the dinosaur itself is good. It's pretty clean. The eyes look nice, teeth look nice. Inside of the mouth is painted, except for the roof of the mouth, which is not. And what I do like is they have these little orange flecks of paint that go down the dinosaur, and that's sort of meant to represent, I guess, embers, or kind of look like, hopefully it's not radioactive, but just kind of like fiery. I guess it's got to represent embers, because I don't know what else that would really be. It can't have lava in its body, otherwise it'd be melting. Anyhow, we're probably overthinking it a little too much. For articulation, here at the shoulders, same as last time, ball hinges, so you can move them outward and forward. The front and back are on a sort of insert molded joint. You can't move them all the way out, so they're not complete ball hinges, but they do enable you to pose it. And you can see that the jaw does move. So you do have a button back here. It doesn't really do that much, but when you push on it, you can see that the The mouth kind of closes, not all the way, but the harder you push it, the more it closes. But it's really hard to push. It's not like before where you could just push it and the mouth would open. You can also see that this is where they switch the battery cover with the sound holes out for this solid piece. So unfortunately, it is no longer electronic. Not a huge deal, but you know, it was kind of a nice feature of the original Baryonyx. Speaking of, there's the original on the right, and you can see a little bit different in terms of the coloration. But again, the sculpt is the same. It's just a matter of both figures being retooled. So you can see that the brown color is a little bit different. Like I said, it's very chocolatey on the new Baryonyx from the playset, whereas the Rorovores one kind of more of a little bit of a muddier, sort of almost grayish kind of brown. The playset one is just like straight up brown. And you can see that the pattern on the Rorovores version actually extends from the head all the way down to almost the end of the tail. So it's kind of a bummer that they changed that because it looks a lot better in the original Baryonyx. Not to mention the fact that there's pattern on the legs of the original, whereas the new one doesn't have those patterns. And most obviously, perhaps, is the fact that you have the original, which has this metallic blue color to kind of give it that look that the Baryonyx in the film had. Whereas the new one, they didn't do that. They just opted to put the orange lava mark or whatever you want to call that instead. But it is interesting to see them one next to the other. So they're not identical. If you're trying to collect them all, so to speak, then you know you'll probably want to get both of them anyway. And it does kind of suck that the electronics are missing from the new one because I really did like that aspect of the original Rorovores Baryonyx. And there's the bottom, just so you can see all the weird speaker holes on the Rorovores version. So, I mean, in that sense, this one looks a little more streamlined, I guess, but it's not nearly as fun as the Rorovores version. Here is your scan code right there. It does look like it has a different scan code from the original. All right, so here is the meat and potatoes of the set. I always thought that was a funny expression. The set itself looks good, the play set. It's very nicely done. It's got a very nice aesthetic to it. It looks a little bit cartoony in some respects, but for the most part, I like what they did here. So let's talk a little bit about what they did here exactly. So basically, they're recreating the bunker from Fallen Kingdom that Claire and Franklin were trapped in. And I think they did a pretty good job for the most part. Now let me talk about the very vibrant looking ladder and rail. That's really the only part of this that kind of stands out as being cartoony. I don't know if they were meant to simulate like a glowing sort of aesthetic to it because of the lava and all. It's possible. I mean, they do look very melted compared to how they looked in the film because obviously that wasn't the case in the movie. But they did them in a very bright yellow, whereas I would have preferred a more natural look. I also didn't need the warped look to the rail or to the ladder. I don't think that's necessary. But again, they're probably trying to simulate that it's hot, it's melting, and you know, if you touch it, you're probably going to die. So that's what they're going for. I like the look of the walls, though. I mean, I do think they sculpted them rather nicely. Pretty good detail and texturing. You can see like underneath the stucco or concrete or whatever. Some cracks going on there, some pipes. And of course you have the little button for the gate. I'll show you that in just a sec. There is the breakaway door here in the back. There's the top, so it looks like at least you do get some ventilation if you're stuck in there. And of course the ladder goes all the way up to the hatch on the very top. So here's the hatch right there. It opens up like so, and you can see in there. Close it back up, and at the bottom, it's very plain. Not a whole lot to see there. And as you spin it around, like I said, pretty nice detailing on it. Like they even sculpted like moss and leaves and branches and stuff growing. They didn't paint it. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could go back and paint that. It'd probably look pretty cool actually. And you can see inside the gate right there. And then here's the breakaway wall from this angle here. So overall, it's pretty nice looking. So let's talk about the gate right here. So that gate does in fact open, and the way that it does that is there is a little tab right here. You basically just raise it with your hands, just like that. Pretty cool. And the breakaway wall. So the instructions do show it going in like this. I don't know that that's correct because you're supposed to be able to break it from that side so that it looks like the Baryonyx is bursting in. But as you can see, it doesn't work that way. So I think this was maybe just a little error on the part of whoever was writing the instructions. So what you would need to do, and it makes more sense, is flip it around because you see the leaves and stuff there. And just put it in like yay. And then you could grab your Baryonyx and blast his way in, or her way in. Just like that. It's a little violent, but yeah, there we are. So I don't quite mind that aspect of the playset, but I do think having the movie accurate tunnel would have been cooler, at least for me from an adult perspective. Having it more movie accurate with the tunnel would have been nice, but I can see how Mattel might have said, you know, that just wasn't very fun. Let's go ahead and do this breakaway wall instead. So I really can't fault them too much there. I also want to mention this button here. Well, it's not really a button, it's just sculpted, but it would seem that you press that and the gate opens. Obviously, it doesn't do that on the actual playset. You got to do it manually, but I think it would have been cool if maybe there was like a light in here somewhere and you press the button. Maybe it made some sounds, kind of like the old Kenner Command compound from the Jurassic Park line. Obviously, that wasn't meant to be, which is fine. We got to review this based on what it is rather than what it's not. So you can put your Claire figure in here, whatever figures you want to put in here. You can't put Franklin in there because this figure isn't out yet, but that is kind of cool. Or if you wanted to put her up here on the second level, you could do that, and it kind of reveals how short that rail actually was. That's probably not ADA compliant. I don't think that's going to pass OSHA regulations. And then, of course, if you wanted to put Claire on the ladder, you could do that just like she's climbing her way up. Just like she's on her way up, just barely making it away from the melting ladder, which would obviously scald her skin so badly. Or you can place her here on the very top, just narrowly escaping that rampaging Baryonyx. Tickle, tickle, tickle. All right, now the moment you have all been waiting for. Slime! Yeah, I don't really want to get my set dirty with the slime, but you know what? This is a review, and a review is not complete unless you cover all aspects of the product. Very important that you cover all aspects of the product, and that's what we're going to do here. So let's look at the slime, or the lava. Sorry, lava. And yeah, I mean, it looks like unsettled Jello. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and rip it. And let's see what the consistency of this stuff is like. Ugh. Ugh, this feels really weird. Ugh! Yikes. I don't like it. It feels like, I don't know if any of you guys are old enough, but Nickelodeon Gak back in the 90s. I don't know how long they made that, but we'll just leave that. I don't like the way this it leaves your fingers feeling all gross. Oh, I almost dropped it. Yeah, this is the lava. I would say handle it with clean hands because you don't want to get like hair and dirt in it. Yeah, it leaves residue on your fingers, so I am worried that it's gonna leave residue on my playset, but again, what review is complete without covering all aspects? All right, let's see how we're gonna do this. All right, so I'm going to just lay it here on the very top. Let's see what happens if we lay it here on the very top. See what happens. Oh, it's coming through. It's coming through. Do you see it right there? Look. It's coming through. It's just kind of marinating on the top, but it's actually coming through a bit. Let's get our Baryonyx ready. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's coming down. Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, there's our lava oozing down. Looks like we'll catch this one first. Psst, ah! Since it doesn't roar, I'm doing my best roar. Ah! Look at that. Check that out. That is pretty cool. So it just kind of seeps through. I don't know if actual lava would perform this way, but that's actually pretty cool. I'm glad I did that. I kind of shied away from it for a second, but you know, again, got to review the whole thing. That is pretty cool. And I know this is just a lot of long watching slime dripping through plastic, basically, but you know what? I like this. That is cool. I love the way it's pulling on the bottom. Doesn't that look great? Our Baryonyx, go back in here. Psst, psst. Ah, hot, hot. Oh, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. I love the way it's pulling on the bottom. You can even see some pulling on the rail right there, like kind of like on the little balcony or whatever. That's pretty cool. Wonder how easily it rips if we were to pull on it. Wow. Let me just show you what the top looks like real quick, where it's just kind of oozing its way through. This is neat. This is really neat. And yeah, I'll go ahead and speed this up so that the rest of it comes down a little quicker. All right, it's been going for 10 minutes, and as you can see, it's starting to overflow a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that worked really awesome. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and that's what the top looks like now. That was pretty cool. I got to admit, I didn't expect I was going to like that at all, really, but I actually really do like it. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and we'll conclude. All right, so after you're done playing, it does say that you can place the slime back in the slime packet and to seal it tightly. And then to rinse and clean the playset and dinosaur with tap water before storage. And I can tell you why this slime is very hard to get out. When it pulls to the very bottom of the playset, obviously you can grab it, you know, in one big clump and put it in the bag, but then you still have a bunch of slime that kind of collects at the top. And as you can see, there's still a little bit of slime here and there. I didn't get it all, so I'm going to have to go ahead and rinse it. So that's probably not something I'm going to be doing too often. But that said, I love this playset. I mean, at the price point, again, it was something like $25 from Walmart.com. I mean, I really feel like its value far exceeds the price point that you're being charged for this set. And in that sense, I think you gotta get it. I mean, if you're even lightly collecting the Jurassic World figures, it's a really fun set to begin with, but it's also very nicely executed. Even if I don't agree with every single choice they made here, like the really bright yellow railing and the ladder and the coloration and the Baryonyx. I also wish that you could put the hatch on the other way because it is opposite of how it actually opened up in the film, which isn't a big deal. And I thought maybe I could just turn it around and insert it like that, but you can't because the prong sizes are different on either side. So I mean, those are kind of minor things in terms of how fun this playset is, and the fact that it is trying to recreate something from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, even if it's not doing it 100%. They did a pretty nice job replicating it and giving you the slime to reenact the lava coming into the bunker. This is a great set, great value. I'm totally happy with it. I do wish it was bigger. I do wish that there was a little bit more involved here, but for the price point, I really cannot complain. I mean, I really cannot. It's just an awesome deal. And I hope we get more play sets based around the Jurassic series from Mattel, because this is just fun, fun, fun. The slime is fun. Slime! All right, my friends, if you've enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts down below on this set and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, thanks for tuning in to Cretaceous Cantina. Bye-bye.